All right, it's been several years since we've done anything to our house, so I figured I'd give you a tour, give you an update of where we're at. I've done a couple little projects. We showed you some of the painting of the ceiling and stuff, so I'm gonna show you where we're at, where we've been, where I think we're headed on some just little tweaks and changes, and just keeping you clued into what I'm thinking here at the house, because I do think we're gonna stay here for a long time. So I just took the trash out, so let's walk through the property here. So the first thing we're doing is the driveway is getting completely pressure washed all the way out. I do have on the list to replace these lights. They don't work, and I'd like to make them look a little better, since we drive into here every day, and it would be nice to have a little bit of light. Also, some sort of landscape lighting, because this is pitch black at night. If you've ever driven back here, been to my house, it's darn near impossible to see. So this will be on the docket here, likely when we do the garage. I'd like to do the garage sometime next year. We're gonna have a bunch of little projects we're working on over the course of the next year. But this is really the major spot that needs to be replaced. We'll have to cut this whole section out and re-pour it in order to clean it up here. The other nice thing about our neighborhood, they're building a home down here, another home down there. There are 20 lots. I think there are 11 homes now. So we'll have a built out community probably in the next 5 to 10 years. But the cool thing about these lots, you can see my lot line goes from there all the way down to the fence line there. So we're 500-600 feet. So we've had a tree guy coming, so that's another little tweak. I mean, we've literally done nothing to this place since we did our first updates, 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago when we moved in. So we'll be doing some little minor things over the course of the next year. The first thing we've done is we've hired a new landscape guy. The people that we have slowly let this place fall apart. The difficulty of this property is that it's huge. So this section here gets cut a couple times a year, the perimeter of the property, and then we have about 2 acres, so it's 5.7 acres. So about 2 acres have something, whether it's this xeriscape stuff, or we've got some grass that needs to be maintained, but it's not that difficult. So the new person, we were paying $800 a month. It's going to cost $900 a month. So hopefully we can get some quality service and really get this place back up to the way it needs to be or should be for paying that much money for someone to maintain it. But you clearly see it's a lot of work. So the rest of the driveway looks good. It'll transform here. So once every 2 years, we need to get it pressure washed. It is kind of nice that it kind of blends in. You get this kind of moldy looking patina to it, but it does need to be maintained, cleaned up once a year. All this landscaping here is going to get cleaned up. We just took a tree out that died. There's a large oak tree right here. They'll grind the stump down. It's inside of those bushes there. And then they're going to go and clean up tomorrow any branches that are hanging down. Just really clean the area. I think once every 5 years it'll be necessary to do that, assuming we don't have hurricanes that knocks everything down. We had a bunch of grass die, so this is something Michelle's been working on, to get somebody out here that knows what they're doing. The company that we they turned over 3 times, and they just kept getting worse and worse. So she went on a project to find somebody new to get this place squared away. The basketball hoop is mobile. We kind of move it around depending on what the kids are doing. Ryan's over there with his best buddies. They swim a lot between our house and their house. So exterior, we painted the house 3 years ago. We kind of had to in order to make it look proper. The doors were red, the trim was red. And so I would guess in 10 years we'll need to do a roof. So hopefully solar roofs are viable by then. So that's something that is on my list. I'd love to do a Tesla roof. You can see a Frisbee up there. I guess we got to get that down. We don't have gutters along the front, so we should probably do gutters at some point, but that's not on the near term. And then I'd love to, we like our flagstone, that's fine. I'd love to do something, change the brick someday, but again, that's not on the near term project. That's if we're here for life, then we'll keep that. Orangey, sip it, buddy. So let's walk through here. Everything's good here. One small, I guess small but not so small project is I'd like to turn this door and flip it around. Dude, chill out, man. It's not time to eat yet. That's all he does is eat and sleep. So we'd like to, when we do the garage, we'll probably pave this here. That's where the garbage cans go. Kind of makes a mess. Here's our air handlers over here. These we replaced, 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago. And Brian Orr did all of that, so we have our Carrier Infinity, so we should be good for several years there. We just have had our generator serviced. So let me walk over there and show you what this thing looks like. So we have a pretty massive, what is it? Is it a 75 kilowatt generator? This thing is pretty stout. And I had an issue with the well. See, the well's over there, and the well pump needed to be fixed. So we got that all repaired, and I had them put a new, bigger receiver tank there. So our well was really sorted, and same thing with our generator. So that's been serviced, updated, new battery. We now have a company that comes out and services it all the time. So that's a good thing. So you can see the driveway needs to be pressure washed. Unfortunately, this is where I ran, and we had to cut the driveway in order to run power out to here to run a 200 amp service. And this is starting to sink a little. And we'll repair this, I think. Maybe cut out this whole section and redo it when we do the garage, I think. And in our tank, we have I think it's a 500 gallon propane tank right underneath this section here. So that's where we have the generator that it would run us for probably 2 weeks without needing to fill up the tank. And what is it, 500 gallons of propane? It's not cheap, but a couple $1,000 worth of propane sitting there that really is for the backup generator, and that's about it. And our stove. So the service there will kick on within a few seconds when the power goes off. So all of this, we've been struggling with this here, this grass. The guys just haven't been doing a good job. So this normally in the summertime looks really good, but you can see obviously with oak trees it's difficult, but our guys just aren't doing very well. So coming down here, the longer term plan is to I would like to take this out, and we talked about, you saw the video, or I talked about what I'm planning to do with Wash Bay 2.0. So I'll be doing cameras and security, and eventually cars won't be stored out here, but the Wash Bay updates will be coming here soon. And in combination with some of the updates, I would like to change because it's a pain in the butt. You can see I'm always backing out here. So I'd like to bring the driveway out and over. That way we can bring our basketball hoop back here. Probably take out a couple of these trees and just extend the driveway out and square it off so we can make like a little semi basketball court there, so that Ryan and his buddies can come and play. And the driveway, when we build the garage, will be extended out here. We'll take the driveway and turn it. It'll run down through this corridor of trees straight through here, and the intent is to build something massive back here. And so when we do that, we will clean up this whole area out here and landscape. So we'd obviously have to do some clearing back here. I'd still want it to look like the rest of the property, but the garage is going to go out back here in this section somewhere that will look good. And that means that all of this will disappear. So all of this stuff all this kid stuff that nobody uses will be gone. Uh-oh, somebody's about to get in trouble. Ryder and his buddy hammering through the side of this. If they did that to my garage, it'd be dead. So all of this I'd like to get rid of, and we would likely also bring the driveway straight. So the driveway would come straight through here, so we'd be able to either go around to the garage or come straight through. And wouldn't it be amazing if we could do some sort of covered walkway all the way in? I don't know that I'll be balling that hard, but that'd be something that'd be cool. OG keeps taking off. Maybe we could do that. So Wash Bay 2.0 is going to be involved building a little room off to the side here so I can put all of my equipment in it, because this will always be the wash bay. Even when I build the garage, this will stay the wash bay. This will be a longer term project, but this will have to be cut out, slot drain down the middle so that we have proper drainage, because there's a little low spot right here. I've got the new bubble. Be replacing the old bubble, and I'll clean this one up and probably sell it to somebody. I'm going to put a room back here, you know, in this area, so it'll go across, not as deep as this, but that'll be for all of my equipment to run all of the stuff that runs this, and we'll be doing Sonic MSS Plus cabinets. So this whole courtyard or corridor will change when the garage is done. We'd probably keep the fire pit. It's on Michelle's short list to get this fire pit redone. We were burning all kinds of stuff when we first moved in. Gosh, the grass does not look good. It should not be like this. It should be thick and plush. So all of this is going to be pressure washed, cleaned up, and then we'll likely redo. All the furniture's fine. The perimeter of this, once it gets pressure washed, will be nice and clean, but this needs to be redone. We melted too many big things inside of there. So again, you can see after a couple of years, we really need to get this pressure washed and cleaned up, because it kind of gets beat up over time. So since we're doing all this out here, so picture garage back several hundred feet that way. And so in here, we're getting this all pressure washed as well. Same thing with the screens and everything. They're doing it, I think, Tuesday. So all of this will be cleaned up. You know, part of the disadvantage of the Florida summer is you get lots and lots of rain, so you tend to get algae and stuff that needs to be cleaned up. So nothing will really change out here. The pool, we got to fix this table, so we have somebody coming this week to look at this stuff. These are all things we've neglected over the last several years. The pool's looking a little green there. The kids have been in it nonstop all summer. Pool people come on Monday. I think they were off for a week. But this will all be cleaned up, and we're going to fix this. There was like a table and like a goofy umbrella that went here. Here's the table right here. So Ryan broke that jumping off of it. A tub we never use. I want to fill that with sand. But out here, this is much longer term. Out here, I'm going to change all the fans. And I don't know what we're going to do for furniture, but Michelle would like to change the furniture here. This is the furniture that came with the house. It's gotten kind of ratty. You can see Kate does all crafts out here. But I think she wants to do some sort of big picnic table here. And then this, again, would be like version 5.0. We're going to pull this whole thing out and redo this. The ventilation's really bad, so this gets smoked up. Really can't use it like we would like to. But this whole area is great, but something that if we're here forever, this whole area is fantastic. Just change this, modernize this a little bit so that it kind of matches the rest of the upgrades or changes that we've done to the house. But all this cedar is beautiful. I don't need to change anything here, and everything is well maintained and looking good, other than the inevitable Ryan's clothes that are everywhere. So this out here is amazing. So imagine a garage back in the background there that looks just like the house. The other dream that I have, if we stay here forever, in the, let's say 5, 6, 7 years, is if you've ever seen a sport court, I'd love to build a sport court out here somewhere. I think that would be amazing. So to do a sport court for tennis, basketball, build it somewhere out here. This is where our septic system is, right in this area. So that's where our septic is. And then the trees are going to get trimmed up here this week. So that's the first little maintenance item. So we're getting the trees prepped for the new lawn people. The new lawn people are going to come out and just clean everything up and get everything up to standard. And then once it's up to standard, they can just maintain it. You can see Michelle was trying to fix the sprinkler head, so we got a guy coming to fix all of this stuff. So there's the master, and you can see the kind of algae buildup here that we're gonna get all cleaned up because we've done zero maintenance. I've been slacking on this so much. So we've got an Ely hose reel, 75-foot 5/8 hose. This here is a bathroom, which is awesome. So the kids don't have to come into the house to go to the bathroom. And then this is a closet. Oh shoot. So this closet is normally organized. I put some Swiss tracks in here, and just kids to keep all the kids' pull toys and stuff. So I guess it's not that bad. Just a small ball went off with these things. I told Katie about to clean up, so that's how she did it. This area is just super amazing, super cool. Oh, another longer term project is have audio run. It's all Bose, and you guys know my feeling on Bose. I'd love to get a really legit audio system and get this really taken care of. Oh, another big project that is on the 5-year list is, and it may have to happen sooner depending on what happens with the pool equipment, but we don't ever heat the pool. It just costs too much money. So you're talking $1,500 electric bill. So what we're going to do is replace the pumps, and they need to be updated. So there'll be all this equipment out here is 2005. So we're coming up on 15 years. Oh shoot, we got a little drip there. So I'd like to modernize all of this with variable speed pumps and get more efficient, maybe some solar, but make this a more efficient modern system. And hopefully I'm hoping we can squeeze another couple of years out of it before we start to have significant problems. It's been pretty reliable to this point, but a lot of it is because I turned the heater off and we're not heating the pool. So you can see the landscaping is just not doing great. Getting this tree trimmed back. I need to get all these trees off the house. That's how rodents and bugs and all that stuff kind of gets in the house. What got Michelle started on fixing some stuff was lots of cockroaches. Living in the woods here, it's kind of what happens. But it is pretty darn amazing living out here where we live and have this much space. Notice we don't have any window treatments on the windows because there aren't any houses nearby. So this closet I recently did Swiss tracks in here, so we cleaned this up a bit and got this all kind of somewhat organized. There's our iron breaker and our softener, the rather efficient, we changed that when we did the air conditioning system, a rather efficient heat pump, and then our recirculator so it doesn't take an hour for the water to get hot, and then just our mountain bikes and Rai stuff. And then some Rubbermaid Fast Track stuff just to keep it somewhat organized. The nice thing about the heat pump is that it's basically an air conditioning on top of there. So this backs up to my home theater, so it keeps this whole area cool. Plus it's pretty well shaded. And then the home theater is powered or conditioned by a mini split. Yeah, carrier mini split. So this whole thing here, this whole area is attic. So I've had to fill it up with all the stuff from HQ, all my car parts and all of that, because we don't have any room at HQ. I'll show you that in a minute. It's kind of a mess. I'd love to get in there and reorganize that. I don't, other than maybe changing the way this door opens, I'd like to flip it around. We really don't need anything here in the home theater. I don't have any plans for it at all. I keep it 74 and nice. I very rarely come over here. I'll come over here tonight and watch a movie. But yeah, everything is nice and cool and protected and done and clean. So I have Lutron Serena shades in here. The only thing I can think of that I'd like to do is I do need to do some more treatments. What I'm thinking longer term is that I'll probably end up building a home theater business like Obsessed Garage someday. There's the Ubiquity access point. And so I have multiple home theaters. So this will be my one testing theater, you know, just a large display. I'm thinking if I started doing home theater stuff specifically, I would build like a massive theater above the garage and do like a projector. And the only reason I would do multiples is so that I could test product and make videos. And so I could see myself doing something like that someday. So I'd have a major theater out there in the garage, have this moderate theater here, have like the living room theater in the house, which I'll show you, and then the home theater in a box, and then I have distributed audio, and so I have the ability to put packages and test products like crazy in all these different areas. And I certainly don't need it. I don't watch any of them, but it would be for the fun of building it and then changing it and testing products and shooting videos and doing whatever, you know, whatever I felt like doing. So I know that sounds ridiculous, but the Raptor always stays here. The other cars are always out there. I very rarely have all 4 cars out there, and hopefully be back down to 3 cars in the not too distant future. But I very rarely keep all the cars. There's always something at HQ. The cats, we have 2 cats, and since then we have no rodent problems. So they don't go inside. They just kind of patrol this area. And so they don't spend as much time out in the pole barn as I'd like them to, but these guys keep this place under control from rodents and lizards and squirrels and all of that stuff. So these aren't feral cats, they're domesticated cats. Right, Orangey? So there's the front yard. Let's go inside and walk you around and tell you what I'm thinking. So again, someday I'd like to, I just don't like yellow. I'd like to change that, but I doubt that'll ever happen. I'm telling you all the dreams here. That may or may not be the reality. So this is the door we almost always come in. And so this is on our short-term list. So a lot of that stuff outside I talked about as our long-term list, but our short-term list would be to change this bathroom and just get rid of this stuff and make it a little bit more modern, and then change the laundry room. Michelle wants to do, you know, those like cubby things where you sit and you have all your stuff, your hangers. So instead of doing this kind of laminate stuff,
a mudroom.
Yeah, make it a mudroom, change all of this stuff, and I don't know what it would look like, but have somebody design this, and I don't think it would cost very much to do this. So change the tile and make it look more like this, you know, like our kitchen does. We have this scheduled. This isn't going to be a big deal at all, but this is going to be taken out, all of this, all the press board stuff. And it's kind of inefficient, so we're just going to put shelves like this. So we're going to a little bit deeper, but it's going to look like this. but instead of brick, it'll be wood on the backing. So wood shelves and wood backing, and then painted. Obviously, our entire house was this. So we've painted all of that. Some by necessity and some by design. So we'd probably change the flooring at the same time as this. So I think maybe springtime we'd like to do this project. This will be our next project, to change this, make this a entry mudroom, and then change this bathroom to make it a little bit more consistent style wise. Get rid of the yellow lights and stuff like that. So again, we haven't done anything in here since we did the kitchen and painted all the trim. So the trim is called Worldly Gray. Oh shoot, I missed that spot. The trim is called Worldly Gray, and the walls are called Dove White. And we painted all of this stuff was brown and different. And we gutted the kitchen when we came, did this exposed brick. Also did the dining area, did this big center island, and this was like the two-step or tiered center section. One thing I would advise everybody to do, you probably already knew this, but don't put your garbage can inside of a cabinet. In 2.5 years, 3 years, we nuke the cabinet. So what I'm doing is I bought some fancy electronic garbage from I don't remember the Simple Human, I think. It's going to go here and it'll open up, and then we're going to put our recycling in here because the door kept getting ruined. So I had a new door, or I'm going to do a new door made, and we won't be in and out of there as much as we were in the past. But the kitchen is done, and I don't have any intention to make any changes. There's always pads in the kitchen that drives Michelle crazy. So this area is good. We'd planned to remove these beams and put a big metal I-beam in, but I don't know that we'll ever do that. That was part of what our designer really wanted to have us do, to open this area up, maybe someday, but I don't foresee any changes in the living room. What we had to do was we had to paint the ceiling. This void here ended up getting mold in it, and so I had to take Michelle's beloved Restoration Hardware fixture out of here, put a giant fan up there and keep air moving so that we don't end up with that pocket. The other thing that we ended up doing was caulking all of the seams. So that should really help with efficiency because we're getting mold because of the cold air rising and the hot air coming down and touching the cold air, and we ended up with humidity up there and water dripping out. So we should have solved that problem. I don't foresee any changes in here other than, this couch is from our old house. It's really getting ratty from our kids being pigs. I'd love to take the fireplace out, but I don't think Michelle would ever let me do that. But again, I'd love to get rid of the yellow brick someday, but I don't really think we need to change anything in here. If we change that, we would change the flooring. I know some of you are thinking, change. Well, we bought the house because we like the bones of it, and then you just kind of make adjustments as time goes on. So this was family room theater. So these are all my old gear from when I sold the AV equipment back in the day, except for the TV. But my monitor audios, have the JL sub in here. I took the Velodyne over to the garage. We've got just 5.1 surround. This is a Lazy Boy. It's a queen sleeper sofa that comes out, so when we have guests, we put them up in Ryan's room, and Ryan stays in here. But I love this room. So I very rarely use my home theater because I've got this little family room theater, and this is all soundproofed. So when you close the door, it's pretty detached from the house. They soundproof it. This was like the dad's room when they built the house to stay away from all the grandkids and stuff. So there's our pool deck. This will be very soon. We're going to be changing the banister to some sort of wrought iron. So that will be swapped out, and then this area will be pretty much done. So these are all inexpensive, just little cosmetic changes like painting. And one of the things I did, we changed all the light fixtures in the house. I changed out to Cree CR6s. These are 3000 Kelvin. I think that's the best light. Notice that's 2700, but the kitchen is all 3000 K. The white balance is adjusting it, and in person here it's a little less yellow, but we changed all those fixtures, and it's much more efficient, less heat coming off. Those are all LEDs as well, and so we have a pretty efficient at least lighting solution in the house. And yeah, so that was a big shift or big change. So the flooring would be like a long-term project. The nice thing about this floor is even when it's dirty, since it's yellow and light, it doesn't look dirty. And otherwise I think all this is fine. I don't foresee any change to furniture or anything like that. Same thing here. So then hallway, this is all done here. We'd love to do the same thing as the mudroom, do the same kind of wood, but I think that would be pretty expensive to do our closet. So this is not in the near term, but I'm sure it's on Michelle's list someday to do some wood cabinetry in here. You know, again, if we stay here forever. There's the light. So there was a fan in here. I like to sleep with a ceiling fan. Michelle likes to sleep with a giant Restoration Hardware fixture that we've had for 10 years or so now. And so I moved it into this room. And then she made me get some goofy Dyson fan. So we'll see how this goes. I just did this yesterday. That's why it's motivated me to make this video, just to kind of show you, update what's going on. Dang, I had the painters touch up, but I should have gone and told them areas. I was using the wrong sheen on a few spots. I'm noticing I've got to fix that weather stripping there. I just changed out and added a dimmer to this, and then one thing that happens a lot with LED fixtures, some of them, they just don't work with a dimmer even if you don't have it dimmed. So these are always failing. So I finally got off my rear end and changed out the dimmer, even though it's a CFL and LED style dimmer. Oh, shoot, this is all dirty too. I needed to have the painters. I should have walked around with blue tape. And I didn't nitpick any of this stuff when I wasn't walking around with the camera. But these are 3000 K as well. These are 2700. Oh man, I need to dust that sucker. But the this is all done. So there was a big tub over here, and so we pulled that out and just made this a big bathroom area. So we don't have any changes in here. This was done. So the master's done. The family rooms, or the master bath, is done. And then in here is a mess that I've been tearing apart, trying to get a layout of what I have. But I'm going to be probably taking the Meraki out. Dang, this fixture is dead. There we go. So I'm going to be pulling the Meraki out of here, and then I started tearing this apart to try to figure out what's what, because I'd like to do some sort of better distributed audio here, actual amplifier, do some better speakers someday. I'll probably do this soon. So this was the color of the walls. This yellow was the color of everything. So I was in here messing around, but this room will become the equipment closet, and I may put something on the wall there to house everything. And then here's the handler for this side of the house. So this closet here is where I keep all my photography stuff. I mean, I don't foresee any changes here. We just painted this, or by we, I mean the painters just painted this here, as it was all yellow, and just kind of modernized it, so everything looks good. Michelle for Christmas wants new carpet, so the carpeting in these areas. I don't think we'll carpet this room. What we're going to do is make this a real bona fide podcast studio office thing. So this is something I'll probably work on in the winter. I've got a lot of projects apparently, but I really don't need any equipment or anything, just a desk, and probably put some acoustic treatments in here. I mean, I've already got all the mics and everything, so I'd like to set up this to be some sort of office. I still won't have an office at HQ, even though we just leased the other side of the building. All the guys will have an office, so we would make this our office. So I've been kind of postponing and rewiring all of this stuff. I got a wiring mess back here. That's no good. It's not how I roll. But I'm showing you the real here, so I'd like to get this cleaned up. and have Michelle have a portion of a desk somehow, and me. So we'd probably do some sort of tile in here or something like that with some sort of area rug. But that'll be part of next year's little projects that I would probably DIY myself. So imagine how cool this would look if we changed this to wrought iron. It would transform how this area looks for not a lot of cost. It's coming up here. Again, this was all just painted. KB's room. So I would say the 2-year plan is to redo the bathrooms up here. So bathrooms and carpet. What are you doing up here, G? Just cleaning up? No? Katie Bell's tub. So get rid of the brown tub and toilet. You like the brown? What color?
Doesn't match my room.
What color would you like?
White.
White is better?
Yes.
What are you doing up here? Can you show everybody your room real quick and give us a room tour?
Sure.
Okay. What is that?
Both rooms.
Huh?
Both rooms.
Yeah. Give us a tour. This is your room? So this was the other problem area. So I took the light down and I put this nifty little fan in that circulates.
Why is that up there?
I put the fan up there because this was an area that was getting moldy. So we caulked all of this. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's like a heat spot where everything gets trapped. And so now we have this little oscillating fan, super quiet.
There was a black thing there.
A what?
A black thing up
Yeah, that's the
there.
remote. I put the remote up there so you won't lose it. Is that smart? So where's your little makeup station?
Over here.
Yeah, Katie Bell's room is cool. I like this room. Show us your closet. Show us your closet.
I lost my my eyeshadow on my lips.
Why do you have eyeshadow? You're 5.
I'm allowed to.
Yeah? So Katie Bell has a little closet. It's the only little closet in the whole house, and it's the only one that we need to be big. Shoes. So that's
High heels.
Katie Bell's room.
They're high heels.
Katie Bell is going to be getting a big girl bed here soon, I think.
These are high heels.
Yeah? Our kids love this type of bed. Ryan was in this bed until he was like 6.
I'll show you.
He had to sleep
another
diagonally
room.
because he was too big. And here's Kate's playroom.
Right here.
Nice. Semi-organized. That's the air handler behind that door, so we don't ever go in there. I just ordered a new fan to match that fan. So it's what do they call those things? Haiku, or whatever those fans are called. So I ordered one to match that. It was on 40% off. Actually got a deal. And then this is Ryan's room.
Here.
And I got a new fan for his too, so it'll be these 2 fans will be gone.
Daddy.
Yeah? Uh-oh, what is that? A bug?
Yeah. A
Yeah.
wasp.
Yikes.
No, it's a.
We have
it's
all
a-
kinds of
it's
bugs.
A brown bumblebee. It's old. It's an old bumblebee.
Yeah.
I made this bed.
You did?
Yes, but I didn't put this thing on it.
Yeah, I kind of fixed it up a little bit.
I just put the
Oh,
brown
you
thing.
got Tim Tebow up there?
I just put that right there. Why did you move that?
I think Michelle took Antonio Brown off the wall, so.
What's this? Guys.
So we would
Guys,
do
what's this?
probably both bathrooms at the same time, but this is, oh shoot, the bulbs are burning out
Guys,
here.
what's this?
I gotta fix that. No, stop doing that, you're messing up the bed. All right, let's show them the attic.
Okay.
So the attic, Rai has 2 closets, 2 nice big closets with
And there's a room up
not
there.
much in them.
That's a room.
Well, it's not a room, that's just the attic. So we caulked all of this. It was a huge project to hopefully keep the house more efficient and keep the heat out. And then this here is this giant attic area with all my car parts and home theater boxes. And man, it looks like a bomb went off. So I gotta organize this. We're gonna go through this. Looks like Kate's got a bunch of stuff we need to get rid of.
That's
I had to bring the scaffolding up here. Yeah, that's embarrassing. There's too much. A lot of it's empty boxes with all my electronic stuff. But we did have this organized. And this is Michelle's accumulation of decoration that somehow keeps showing up. Stop messing around, Kate.
has to go in.
Yeah, leave that alone. Come on out. So this is not air conditioned.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
not going to show anything else. Bye-bye.
See you later. You gonna go play?
Bye-bye.
Gonna go play?
Yes.
Kate is so good at playing. She loves to be up here by herself playing. So I guess that's it. That's the house. So other than changing the banister, not a lot of changes up here. And remember, I know I'm talking about change. What I'm really talking about is, you know, we're just making continue to make this our, I guess I never want to say forever, but make it our long-term spot. And just constant improving, constant evolving and changing. That's what I like to do. By the time we get it done, we'll probably start over and do it all over again. But that's the house. Thanks for watching. And I'll be sure to show you more updates. This week, I'm going to do a Hex Plus or Hexcast update of what I have vision-wise for OGHQ and our master plan.
Stay crazy. Stay crazy.
Yeah, stay tuned for more crazy.
No, stay crazy.
Check you on the next one.